I think it's more stress than it's worth trying to schedule something. But hello, everybody. Just in the nick of time. Happy the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars, quote, etc., etc. Actually, just got done doing a little Let's Play. Final Fantasy 12. Zodiac Age just really played through pretty much the prologue and what was it? Basically the tutorial and the first mission where you go after the rogue tomato. It took me a while to find the tomato. But as y'all, well, some of you might know, that game is. I mean, I actually don't know how often it's really been referred to it as, but I know some people have called it the Star Wars Final Fantasy, which it basically is. So yeah, that was kind of fun, and I figure I'll just do this thing, kind of last minute to talk about Star Wars and other stuff. So yeah, I got my cat in the background, so I'm gonna just, I guess, spread this around, get people to hang out. Maybe I could do this for like an hour or two. You know how it goes. It's like pretty much just whatever people want to talk about really is fine, but you know, otherwise, it's like pretty much just dead air that I have to kind of talk about various things. I didn't really have a planned specifically other than talking about Star Wars and stuff. I'm gonna just put this a few other places so that people know about it, because nobody really ever knows where stuff is anymore. Not really. Oh, I see Dan posted our chips review thing. So that's good. You can check out Dan Reviews It. We talk about a number of different things over there. Sometimes we talk about classic series. Like right now we're checking out Hannibal, doing some reviews of that show. We also, I sometimes pop in for some of his Disney videos. He's going through all the Disney stuff. I mostly am just focusing on the major animated releases. And I also occasionally review like snacks and stuff with him, like chips. So those are fun. So feel free to check out Dan's channel if you guys haven't already. Let's see. I guess I'll put some of this on Twitter. I know it's kind of late. It's like midnight. But might do one of these later this week, earlier in the day. I've actually, I think it might be a good idea to maybe check some of that out when other people are able to access it. But it's hard to say. Might end up talking to some people at different parts of the country or otherwise. And I'll put this in the community tab as well, because I find that some people are able to find that. In fact, people, let me know if there's like a particular good way for you guys to get updates from me, because I think that's one of the most frustrating things about the channel. It's kind of always been a little bit of a battle, but it's one of those things that I think is a little worse now, is that I feel like, years ago, it was actually easier to communicate with people, because I remember people could actually send me messages directly, and that was kind of cool. And there were like video responses and things like that. Now I'm like, I feel like unless you've got the subscription bell on for notifications, a lot of people don't see my stuff. Or, I mean, I guess it's all about engagement, like how much you actually watch my stuff, the more YouTube will recommend it to you. I've noticed that some people notice when I put messages in the community tab, so I try to do that regularly. And also, you can check my stuff out. I try to keep Twitter up fairly updated, or the Facebook page. I post stuff in there all the time, so I try. But because I'm posting it a couple different places, I actually don't know. I usually, what I do is I'll post the video up on the channel and not share it anywhere initially. I'll usually wait like a day to see how well it really does otherwise. And sometimes I'm like, it's interesting how many things people can see initially. Yeah, but let's see how it's looking here. Oh, Hemokin. Oh, how you doing? Looks like he says the phone's a little bit laggy. I wonder. I'll put that off. Let's see. Oh, all right. Looks like I got two. Oh, yes. Very good. People, thank you for joining me. Let me see. Once again, spread the video around, share it, get more people in here. The more we do, the more we'll be able to talk. I wonder if there's a way I can edit the. Okay, I'll just say this and other stuff. Ooh, yeah. Okay. I'll just say that. Change that. That way, other people know that while Star Wars can be the main topic, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, share it around. Send me some questions, some comments about things, and that'll help determine how long. But Hemo Kim's having some issues, I guess, with his phone. So I don't know if that was actually me. My signal. Sometimes my Wi-Fi does this thing where it kind of goes up and down a little bit, and it's only this computer too. Like sometimes, like the Wi-Fi might be fine, like the router's fine, and it'll just randomly turn off the Wi-Fi for like a minute, and it's like happened when I was doing a call with Dead over Zoom. You can check him out too. We just did a little Zoom call, talked about some of his favorite film franchises and stuff like Aliens and Predator and Terminator and how they kind of gone downhill a little bit, which was still kind of fun. So yeah, check out his new channel. He's got new videos over there. He's doing like I think classic Let's Plays, and he likes the Resident Evil and Metal Gear, and I think he's been doing a lot of wrestling games recently. So those have been pretty fun. Animated Star Wars. I was thinking, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that there actually is an anime Star Wars, which really surprises me. I feel like there probably could have been one by now. But no, Gennady Tartakovsky and the Samurai Jack Star Wars. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite iterations of Star Wars. I know a lot of people love the Clone Wars animated show that came out on Cartoon Network years later. That the big one that's been on pretty consistently for years. The 3D one. I watched a bit of that show. I actually want to kind of go back and watch more of it because I know it's pretty popular. And the interesting thing about it was, I'm not entirely sure why, but I watched the first season of it or a bit of the first season years ago, and I didn't fall in love with it because I thought it was a little too kid focused. So it was, and there was also that narrator who, I mean, they're talking almost like it's old propaganda, which I get, but I think it didn't quite hit me back then. So I thought, okay, this is just too corny even for Star Wars, right? So I didn't quite fall for it right away, but I actually checked out Rebels years later, and I really liked Rebels. I watched all of that, and that one was kind of more of a segue to the original movies, which I think maybe made it a little bit more interesting for me to get into. Though I do like let me Simon, but I do like the prequels a fair amount too, and the expanded universe stuff. So it doesn't really bother me too much. But for some reason, watching the Samurai Jack version, the Gennady ones, yeah, those were great. I've watched that a couple times through. I think that's really good. I remember that was kind of everybody's introduction to Grievous back in the day, and he was really intense. The do, and he's just like blocking all the lightsabers and all the blaster fire, and that was pretty intense. That of course he was, I think, less intimidating in the movies. It's one of those first examples I think of. Yeah, it's probably one of the first examples of kind of a multimedia franchise where you didn't really necessarily need to watch the other stuff, but if you were rewarded more for watching the cartoon, like you kind of just go based on the movie. Like in Revenge of the Sith, Grievous is actually kind of still kind of cool, but he's injured. He's coughing a lot. He's not really at his best. So, yeah, you get a lot more, I think, if you watch the cartoon version of him. So it's kind of like a lot more with the Marvel movies now, where you don't necessarily need to watch all the shows, but I think you get like almost an additional bonus if you did. Oh, your dad watched it. Yeah, I like I said, I haven't watched all of the Clone Wars show, but I know that Rebels is kind of like a sequel to that, and I actually thought Rebels was pretty good. I usually, I try to keep an open mind with people's opinions, and I don't know if you've ever heard of this channel, the Cosmonaut Variety Hour. I like their videos. They're usually pretty energetic and fun, but like sometimes I do find myself disagreeing, and I think I watched his review of Rebels before I actually watched the show, and he was not a fan of it. I mean, he didn't like the main character or anything, and I don't know. I guess I could see some of the complaints, especially like maybe that first season, but no, I thought it was very good. Yeah, it's still better than the new movies. Mostly because they get a lot more characters you can flesh out over time, and it's more consistent with the themes of the series as a whole. I think so. That's kind of a key. Uh, yeah, um, but yeah, the new movies. Yeah, the new movies. Yeah, hmm, yeah. I heard that I think Clone Wars has a another another like show about the clone troops. Is it the Bad Batch? Is that what that is? Yeah, yeah. The new films are. I do wonder, because when people look back on some of these things, they tend to kind of re-examine them and they appreciate them more. Because I find that happens with a lot of franchises. To be completely honest, yeah, it kind of does. Because like there's that thing that's been brought up from time to time, like over the years here, that like the prequels. I feel like it's almost under the impression that the prequels, were so hated, like much like I guess there was some debate when they were out, like when I was in high school or middle school. Like there must have been some because I remember a few conversations, but the general consensus was like as kids, I think mostly what I heard was people really liked them because when I went into them, I guess I was at just the right age for it because I was about like 9 or 10 when episode one came out. So I was at a good enough age where like I grew up with the original movies and I really loved Star Wars. Like this was like right in the heart of my intense love for all that stuff.